Guys, this is Brownie Boy TV here with your LBA Season 4 Power Rankings number 2. These Power Rankings are going to be covering the weeks 2 to 4, which covers rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Some people went ahead and did their battles for rounds 9 and 10 already, but I'm not going to calculate those into these Power Rankings because that doesn't really just seem fair to me, and I'm going to calculate those into the next Power Rankings. And quick update on the Power Rankings. The Power Rankings, instead of being once every week, they're going to be once every 4 weeks, because we take we're going to have another league break after that, and then I'm going to have the final Power Rankings are going to be right before the playoffs start up. So well, there won't be really a Power Rankings at that point. It will be a like playoff prediction, stuff like that, like in seasons past. But we can just get right into this. And in number 16 slot, we're going to have the Los Angeles Nidokings. His coach is JJD Hernandez. His record's 4-4 with a -3 differential. His key matches that I'm highlighting are round 4, 5-0 win against Portland Timbers, which is myself. Round 5, 3-0 loss to Litheo, which is Matt. Round 7, 1-0 win against the Bolton Blastoises. And round 8, 5-0 loss to Real Scizors. Altogether, JJ has been battling fairly well. He's struggling to adjust to the counters that people are bringing to his Rain team. That being said, Rain is so powerful that you can bypass those counters. So, like with Nasser's able to bypass the counters that people bring to his Rain because he has a Pokemon like Ludicolo. And I think that Ludicolo would just benefit JJ so much, but that's his choice, and he can choose to try to attack the Rain counters however he pleases. But one thing that kind of upset me or frustrated me with JJ was what he lost to Zayad. He lost because Zayad was just able to bring a Rain counter, and he was able to just outplay JJ that match. And JJ just felt like he couldn't do anything, but I completely disagree with that. I think that with a Rain team, you have so much power and so much speed that you can break through essentially any team. Politoed beats both Sand starters, but for Zayad, he's got Hippowdon, and Politoed beats Hippowdon, unless he is a fully special defensive. I'm pretty sure that Politoed still is actually going to win that. But that's just the thing, like, you can't look at it as, like, I can't beat this counter because they're bringing it just to counter my one strategy. You can work around that counter. You know what they're bringing. That's the point of the LBA, and that's the point of draft-based leagues. You know what they're bringing, and you can realize what they're going to be able to do to try and counter your main strategy. And for him, it's going to be Rain. So that's just, I don't know, that's my input. But altogether, JJ's been battling pretty well, and I honestly think he's going to make the playoffs. In Aqua, it won't be too difficult to make the playoffs, sadly, because they're really struggling in the crossover matches. And I think if you go 500 in Aqua, like if you finish the season 10-10, you're going to be in the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see, but good luck JJ for the rest of the season, and hopefully he can figure out what to do with his Rain. Number 15, we're going to have the Bristol Bidoofs, who's Eric, or at Ashinakai. His record's 4-4 with a -2 differential. In round 3, he had a 3-0 loss to Baltimore Bidoofs. Round 4, he had a 5-0 win against the Bolton Blastoises. Round 6, he had a 4-0 loss to Cincinnati Sylveons. And then round 7, he had a 1-0 win against Freedom, which should say the Welsheons. It's my mistake. But he's been battling pretty well. One match that I didn't highlight on here was, I believe it was a round 5 match against the Shadow Valley Murkrows, which is Mr. Murkrow, and he just got destroyed. It was a 6-0, and he tried to bring a stall-heavy team, and Murk just brought Taunt on everything, and it completely shut down his entire team. He couldn't even do anything, and it was a brilliant strategy from Murk to be able to realize that somebody could potentially try to stall you out and just bring Taunt on everything. It was pretty incredible. But that being said, Eric's battled really well. His round 7 win against Freedom with the Welsheons was a really great battle for him. It was a really fun battle. You should definitely go check that out on their channels. I believe it's on both Eric and Freedomion's channel, but it was a really great battle, and I loved watching that one. But I expect more good battles out of Eric, and he's definitely in playoff contention. Number 14 overall is going to be the Tampa Bay Thundurus, which is Geopolitics YT, and his record's 4-4 with a differential of 0. In round 3, he had a 1-0 loss against Surrey Litheo. Round 4, he had a 3-0 loss against New Jersey Magnums. Round 6, he had a 3-0 win against Los Angeles Nidokings, and round 8, he had a 1-0 win against the Bristol Bidoofs. So, altogether, as you can see, Geo's been battling pretty well. He's kind of up and down. That 3-0 loss to Bryle is kind of out of nowhere, I'd say, but Bryle he's a high caliber battler. Like, he's definitely got the skill. He just doesn't have the team to back that up. But he's definitely making changes to make his team better, and he's been battling better, which definitely helps him. I'll talk about him more later when we're covering everybody, because he's not going to fall into the top 16 for the power rankings, as he does have a losing record. But I will talk about Bryle later, because he has put up some great battles. But altogether, Geo has been battling really well. That 1-0 loss to Matt, that's nothing to be ashamed of. And a solid 3-0 win against JJ, and then that 1-0 win against Eric was just a really good battle. His win against JJ, I was really impressed with him because what surprised me was, like, going into the battle, Geo felt like he didn't really have a chance just because Rain is super powerful, and he didn't think that he would be able to counter it well or well enough, but he was, and he was just able to go through and pick up the win, which was really good for him. But Geo's definitely in the running to make playoffs in Aqua Division. As I'll cover it later, but there's 7 teams in the Aqua Division in the top 16, and then there's 9 in Magma. So one of the teams in Magma right now, if playoffs started today on the power rankings, wouldn't even be in the playoffs. And one team that's not in the power rankings from Aqua would be in the playoffs. So pretty interesting how that works out, but we can move on. And number 13, we're going to have the Jubail Relicanths, who is Nasser. His record's 5-3 with a differential of -1. In round 4, he had a 6-0 win against Fuchsia Village Volcarona. In round 5, he had a 6-0 loss against Welsheons. Round 7, he had a 3-0 win against Real Scizors, which is Zayad. In round 8, he had a 1-0 win against the Golden Blastoises. So Nasser was off to an extremely slow start at the beginning of the season. I believe he lost 6-0 and 5-0 in his first 2 games, so he's at -11 differential. And then he was able to rally back. He's able to get some good wins. That 4-0, or that 6-0, I should say, in round 4 against Chris, I thought that he really turned around, and then right after that, he got 6-0 by Freedom. So he's definitely up and down, but he's become the premier Rain team in Magma. He's just gone all out Rain. He had like a semi-Rain team to start the season, and now it's just full Rain, and it's working for him. So definitely a big threat. He was able to take out Zayad's Sand team with his Rain, and in round 8, he had a really good win against Josh. They both battled really well, and Nasser was just able to pull through in the end, but that was a really fun battle to watch too. I definitely think that Nasser's going to have a good chance to make the playoffs. He's a high-caliber battler, and he's been there before. He knows what he has to do to keep getting his wins, and I think that he'll be able to do it. So it'll be interesting to see, but let's move on. And number 12, we're going to have the Baltimore Braviarys, or Kelly, or Under the Radar YT, and his record is 4-4 with a differential of +3. In round 3, he had a 3-0 loss against Cucamonga Quakes. In round 4, he had a 4-0 loss against Real Scizors. Round 7, he had a 6-0 win against New York Gengars. Then round 8, he had a 4-0 loss against Shadow Valley Murkrow. A quick thing that I want to say about the matches that I chose to highlight. The matches that I'm using are matches that, like, I don't want to just put wins that teams I thought should have won. Like, I don't want to do that because it doesn't really make sense. Like, if I'm just putting all battles that they battled against somebody with a losing record, yeah, they should win that. They're in the power rankings. That doesn't make sense for me to just cover that. That's why I'm putting, like, for Kelly, he's got 3 losses on here. But 2 of these losses are against teams with winning records that we're going to see later on in the power rankings, and with Zayad and Murkrows. So that's something that, like, I just want people to take into, like, account. Like, I'm not trying to bash Kelly by having 3 losses on here. I'm just trying to show that, like, his loss in round 3 to the Cucamonga Quakes or Mr. Powers, that's kind of an upset. That's why I believe it should be highlighted. But in then round 7, he had a huge win against Ryan, that's 6-0. But I just wanted to cover that and get that out of the way. But that being said, Kelly has been battling pretty well. He's definitely changed his team to fit his style more from the beginning of the season, I feel like. And he's making good changes altogether. He just picked up Victini off of waivers, which is huge for him. I really think it's going to benefit his team because now he just has raw power with Victini. You can run Scarf, you can run Bandit, you can run Life Orb, Assault Vest, you can run a bulky set. Victini is a highly versatile Pokemon, and I really think that Kelly's going to put in work with it. So it'll be interesting to see, but good luck to him for the rest of the season. Number 11, we have the Real Scizors, or Zad. His record 5-3 with a differential of +5. In round 5, that should say round 4. He had a 4-0 win against the Baltimore Braviarys. In round 6, he had a 2-0 loss against the Portland Timbers. In round 7, he had a 3-0 loss against Jubail Relicanths. And in round 8, he had a 5-0 win against Los Angeles Nidokings. And that first match on the highlighted matches, the Baltimore Braviarys, Zayad and Kelly had a really good battle. Zayad was just able to pull it through, and he just did his homework well enough that he was just able to out-strategize Kelly going into the match, which ultimately just won him the game. That, and you can't sleep on the fact that Zayad's got Hippowdon and Excadrill. At any point in the game, that combination can sweep you. Like, if you get an Excadrill in the rain, it just tears through everything, especially if it's Life Orb. Like, it's one of the scariest Pokemon in its weather. I'd say that the next scariest Pokemon in its weather is probably Mega Swampert in rain. That's somewhat debatable, but I'd say Mega Swampert in rain is probably the next best. But definitely Excadrill, just absolute tank. But in round 6, he had a really close 2-0 loss against me, and then in round 7, he had a 3-0 loss against Nasser. Zayad had a hard time countering the rain in that one, and then round 8, he made the adjustments and looked like he made a good change for himself to counter the rain with against JJ. So I definitely think that Zayed stepped up his game just after that loss to Nasser. I think that he looked significantly better in his round 8 game against JJ. So I definitely think that Zayed's going to make the playoffs. He's a great battler, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does for the rest of the season. Number 10, we're going to have the Shadow Valley Murkrow, who comes in at a record of 6-2. His differential was plus 19. Round 3, he had a 3-0 loss against the Welsheons. Round 5, he had a 6-0 win against the Bristol Bidoofs. Round 6, he had a 1-0 loss against California Carracostas. And round 8, he had a 4-0 win against the Baltimore Braviarys. That round 3 loss, he had a tough loss to the Welsheons, and he battled pretty well. Didn't do anything exceptional. In round 6, he just got outplayed, in my opinion, against Texto. And Texto, the reason that you're going to see that he's the next person up, he's 5-3, but he's ahead of the Murkrow. But the reason that he is because Texto, if he makes the playoffs, is a huge threat. He beats good teams. He struggles against lower-end teams, but he beats good teams. So I'll get more into that in a second. But as you can see, with that plus 19 differential, Murk has just been putting in the work against teams that are lesser than him, I'd say. Like, not that I'm going to say that Kelly or Eric are significant lesser opponents than him, but if he can beat you, it's going to be ugly. And like, if he goes into the match knowing that he's going to win, it's going to be ugly because he has a good strategy and he's looking for a high score. And that's what he's been getting. So Murk's definitely a huge threat, and he's definitely got a good team. And I think that he could make a run late into the playoffs. I would say if he keeps it up and keeps playing well, he could make a push for the Magma Division Finals. That being said, he could also drop a couple more games and just be on the outskirts of the playoffs. But I don't know, we'll see. I definitely think that Murk's a high enough quality battler to make the playoffs and do well in the playoffs. So good luck to him. Number 9 overall, we're going to have the California Carracostas, whose record's 5-3 with a differential plus 6. As you can see, just like with Kelly, he has 3 losses on here, but he also has a pretty big one with that 1-0 win against Shadow Valley Murkrow. Round 3, he had a 2-0 loss against Nasser, and that was essentially when Nasser was turning around his season. So that's, well, turning around his start, because he had a really rough start, and then he picked up that 2-0 win against Texto, which was really good for him. Round 5, he had a 2-0 loss against Verd. Nothing to be ashamed about with that one. Round 6, he had a 1-0 win against Murk, like I said. And round 8, he actually, I'd say, got decently upset by Rudy. Rudy just outplayed him and won the game. There's no way to alter that or anything like that. That being said, if Texto had won that round 8 game, he'd be significantly higher on my power rankings. But he's been battling pretty well, and I think that he's going to keep battling well, and I fully expect him to make the playoffs, honestly. I'm matched up against him for this upcoming week, and I can say that I definitely have to respect his team and his ability to prep for matches. And I'm really looking forward to it. And good luck to Texto and his game against me and the rest of the games this season. Number 8 overall, we're going to have the Welsheons, whose record's 5-3 with a differential plus 20. In round 4, he had a 4-0 loss against Pori Arcanines. Round 5, he had a 6-0 win against Jubail Relicanths. In round 7, he had a 1-0 loss against the Bristol Bidoofs. In round 8, he had a 6-0 win against the London Dragonite. So as you can see, somewhat similar to Murk, when Freemion wins, he wins big, and it's ugly, and it's pretty powerful. But because Nasser and D-Train are very good opponents, and he just clobbered them. And I believe that he has another 6-0 that I wasn't listed here. I might be wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure that he has another 6-0. But that being said, in his round 4, he had a tough match against Nuclear, and he just got, I thought, outplayed decently, and Nuclear is just able to pull through with the win. And then round 7, I think that Freemion probably would have won this if he would have brought the correct Sylveon, like he said that he forgot to. But I think that Eric did enough to win. He did enough to deserve the win. And Freemion, I'm not going to say, obviously he's got a 6-0 win, 2 6-0 wins, and I'm not going to say that he's just all-out stalling, but he has no qualms resorting to that. If he's down in a match, he will stall you into the oblivion to pull out that W, which, I don't have anything wrong with that, as long as you're not going into a match with stall as your one game plan. If that's your one game plan going into a match, then I'm not going to like you. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to approve of your playstyle, and I'm probably going to give you a hard time for it, because nobody wants to be a part of that. That's not fun. It's not fun to just sit there for 80 turns and watch this one Pokemon, or your entire team just keep swapping through and then wishing and protecting with leftovers, blah, 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 whatever. That being said, Freeman just picked up Umbreon also, so now he's got Umbreon, Vaporeon, and Sylveon. And when you have that bulk, it's going to be pretty difficult to see him use it offensively. He has used the Sylveon extremely offensively this season, which I do like, and I honestly think it's the best set. I think that running a bulky wally Sylveon is a waste. I think that is a waste of a modest Choice Specs / Life Orb Sylveon's power, because very few things want to take that Hyper Voice. But I don't know. Freeman's definitely a great battler, and that's just all of this is just my opinion anyway. But good luck to him for the rest of the season. Number 7, we're going to have the Pori Arcanine. He's recorded 5-3 with a differential of +13. Round 3, he had a 4 win against Bolton Blastoises. Round 4, he had a 4 win against the Welsheons. Round 6, he had a 1 loss against Tokyo Raichu. And round 8, he had a 2 loss against Riyadh Rhydons. Altogether, Nuclear is definitely a huge threat. He's drafted a good team. He's a great battler. There's nothing, very few things that I can even say outside of that to really give you an idea about what's going on with the Pori Arcanines. He just knows his team. He knows how to use his Pokemon. He's a good battler. He's great at strategizing going into the battle. The thing that really beats him most of the time is really outlandish sets, i.e. round 6 against Tokyo Raichu. Shadow brought his yin and yang strategy, which was he brought a Snorlax that I believe had Block, Curse, Body Slam, and Rest, and then he had his Yang, or that might have been Yen, or I can't remember, but then he had his Skyphagrigus, who had Calm Mind, Rest, Mean Look, and Shadow Ball. And since both Body Slam and Shadow Ball hit everything on Nuclear's team for decent damage, Shadow was ready to just destroy, and that strategy worked for him, and it really is the reason that he ultimately won. But strategies outlandish strategies like that give Nuclear problems. That being said, an outlandish strategy like that from Shadow isn't that surprising, but I think it would have given anybody a problem in that situation. So I can't really knock Nuclear for it, but altogether he's definitely been battling well, and fully expect him to make the playoffs. Probably make another run at the championship title. He's probably going to push for it. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever to see him in the finals. But that being said, we can move on. Number 6, we're going to Surrey Litheo. His record's 5-3 with a differential of +3. Round 4, he had a 4-0 loss against Kaprun Litwicks. Round 5, he had a 3-0 win against Los Angeles Nidokings. Round 6, he had a 2-0 loss against Bolton Blastoises. And round 7, he had a 4-0 loss against Atlanta Sox. Altogether, Matt is definitely a solid battler, and he just kind of has been struggling in the same way as Texto, I'd say. He gets good wins. His win against JJ was definitely a solid win, but then he has some really rough losses, like that round 7 loss against Rourke. It was Rourke's first win in the league, and congratulations to him for picking it up, especially against such a good opponent like Matt. It's just that stuff like that really does surprise me with Matt, because when I look at him, when I look at his team, when I look at the way he battles and stuff like that, he's definitely a top player, definitely a contender for the title every single season. That's why he's won the league. I mean, the man is a fantastic battler. He's a complete hooligan if you watch any of his YouTube content, and he's hilarious, but he is a great battler. There's no denying that whatsoever. But, I don't know. Interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Matt goes up against his other tough in-division opponents, like D-Train. I don't believe they battled yet, and Shadow. That'll be interesting to see. I know he's already battled Nuclear. I believe they battled round 1, and Matt won that. So it's just stuff like that. It's just interesting. But good luck to Matt for the rest of the season. I love watching his stuff. So let's move on. At number 5 overall, we're going to have the London Dragonites. His record is 6-2 with a differential of +7. Round 3, he had a 1-0 loss against DC Eevees. In round 6, he had a 5-0 win against Cucamonga Quakes. Round 7, he had a 1-0 win against Seattle Sandshrews. And round 8, he had a 6-0 loss to the Welsheons. Altogether, D-Train has been battling really well. He uses really cool sets and stuff like that. He's able to pull off really cool things. I know this is probably backtracking, because I believe that he battled Rudy or the Chattanooga Chestnuts in the first week, but with the Zoroark, he just ripped through Rudy's team. And it's cool to see people pull off stuff like that. And he definitely has been making some good changes to better the chemistry / synergy of his team. That was the word I was looking for. But he definitely has a team that's capable of pushing for the title, which is really great to see for somebody. I believe that he drafted last in Aqua, so it's really cool to see how draft rankings doesn't really matter. It's what you do with that team and how you make the changes, and what trades and pickups and stuff you make like that. But D-Train's definitely a threat. That's why he's second overall in the Aqua division right now, and I definitely think that he's going to push for that title. He's got the battle skill to do it. He does his homework well enough to push for like really good wins and stuff like that. It'll just be interesting to see. So good luck to him. Number 4, we're going to have the Kaprun Litwicks, whose record is 7-1 with a differential of plus 22, and they just picked up their first ever actual loss in the LBA, which was that round 6 2-0 loss to Riyadh Rhydons, or AB. So congratulations to AB for giving Verd his first loss, but that being said, it's not surprising that that was his first loss, because Verdale is an absolute monster. I mean, look at round 4, he had a 4-0 win against Litheo. If you can beat Matt 4-0, you're probably really good. And that being said, like, Matt knew Verd, like, these two battled before, and they both know each other's strategies, and, well, they don't know each other's strategies, but they know each other's playstyle is what I should say. And they both just, like, that battle was really fun to watch. You should definitely check it out on Verdale's channel. It might be on Matt's channel also, I believe that it is. So you can check it out there. If you want somewhat of a serious outlook on it, I would check it out on Verd's. If you want to just laugh, definitely give it a look on Matt's. But altogether, it was a really good battle. And that being said, we can move on to the next one. In round 5, he had a 2-1 against Texto. That's not too surprising. Texto's a pretty good battler, especially when he's going against people that are better than him. That's when he tends to like shine. But Verd was able to just pick up the win. Round 7, he had a 3-0 win against me. And altogether, our battle was really good. I had a lot of fun battling him. In the end, a crit, like, it sealed the deal for the battle, because he got a crit on my Dusclops with his Crawdaunt as I was bringing it in, and if he would have gotten one more Life Orb recoil instead of the crit plus toxic killing, or crit plus poison killing me that turn, then it would have been a good battle. It would have been a better battle, because it would have been right down to the wire. But that being said, Verd definitely deserved the win. He probably still would have won, even if that crit didn't happen, but it would have been a lot closer in the end. So Verd's definitely a great battler, but he can still be outplayed. He showed signs that he is in fact human with that 2-0 loss in round 6 to AB. AB just came into the battle and outprepared him. Like, he didn't outplay him too much during the game, but he just had a better strategy coming in. And like, he brought the fully physically defensive Mega Venusaur, which is able to eat up a Psyshock from Mega Latias. And most people are going to bring, like, I mean, I'd say that physically defensive Mega Venusaur isn't completely uncommon, but I'd say it's not the most common set on it. So just stuff like that, and that's why AB is going to be our next person on here, so we'll get right into that. So here we have number 3, Riyadh Rhydons, record of 7-1 with a differential of plus 15. Round 3 had a 1-0 win against Portland Timbers for myself. Round 4 he had a 3-0 loss against Cincinnati Sylveons. Round 6 he had a 2-0 win against Kaprun Litwicks, and round 8 he had a 2-0 win against Pori Arcanines. Round 4, that's his one loss, and it's a Sophie, who Sophie's been battling exceptionally well. She hasn't really been mentioned so far because people have lost to her, but the people that she's generally beaten have been on the lower end. But I'll get into that in a little bit. But in round 3, he had that good. AB had that good 1-0 win against myself. Again, some hacks in the match, but AB definitely deserved to win the match. He did enough homework to deserve to win. And in round 6, he had a huge 2-0 win against Verd. That's really great for him. And then around 8, he had another 2-0 win. And now it's against Nuclear. That's another fantastic win. So AB is definitely showcasing his ability to battle, his ability to prep, and he's just definitely one of the best battlers in this league. Like, if you don't respect AB, just like I said in the last video, if you don't respect Verdale, then you're crazy. Like, you're an idiot, because they will beat you if you don't respect their ability to prep and plan for this battle and make good plays within the battle. So, it's a beautiful thing. I'm going to take a small moment to talk about the LBA in general, but it's a beautiful thing for me to just watch this league grow and change and get better battlers every single season. It's fantastic to see, because it shows that the system we have in place right now is working, and it's cool that everybody, like, I'd say for the most part, almost everybody's having a good time playing in the league, but it's becoming extremely competitive now. We have people like AB and Verd and Sophie and Shadow and D-Train and Mad and Nuke and just like all these fantastic battlers just duking it out every single week. Every single week you have, like, you can look at the list of matches in each division and you're just like, oh, that's going to be a fantastic battle. I can't wait to watch that. That's something that happens like at least like 2 or 3 times a week now, and that's just, it's so much fun to watch. But that being said, I just want to send a thank you to everybody that does participate in the league, and it's been a blast running it, and I can't wait to just keep it going and competing next season. But we can move on to the next one. Next one, we're actually going to have the Tokyo Raichu, which is Shadow Chew. His record's 8-0 with a differential of plus 17. Now, I know some people are going to be like, why is Shadow Chew at number 2? He's undefeated. He's the only undefeated person in the league. He should be number 1. I somewhat agree with that, but he only has one win against a team with a winning record so far, and that's in round 6 against Nuclear Android. Every other person that he's beaten this season has a losing record. Now, that's kind of not his fault. Like, I mean, it's not his fault that he's beating people with losing records, but his quality of wins aren't that great either, I'd say. Like, in round 8, he had a 1-0 win against Bryle, and he won that game because of Parahacks. If Bryle doesn't get Parahacks twice, Bryle beats Shadow. And, I mean, Hacks happens, Hacks evens out, and I'm not going to say Shadow's completely relies on Hacks, and the only reason that he wins ever, blah, blah, blah. But he does lose that battle if Hacks doesn't happen. So, I don't know, it's, like, that's why this is my judgment. It's called power ranking, because it's not, oh, these are the standings from the league. It's my opinion. That's why Murk is further back in the rankings than some people that are 5 and 3. Like, I mean, Murk, I could definitely make the argument that Murk should be higher, and, like, I could foresee that argument, but I also I don't have a problem putting him that far back. Now, if he gets a couple more wins in the next few weeks, and he validates if he validates himself as a top battler with great strategies, with a great team, and just shuts me up and proves me wrong, then good on him. That's kind of why I want the power rankings to still exist. I want people to see where they're ranked, get either pissed off or motivated, and just try harder or do better. Like, that's kind of what this is about. But Shadow, if he just keeps winning, then he's gonna obviously have to move up, but he has to, like, it's not really his fault that he's battling against people with losing records, because most of Aqua has a losing record at this point, which is kind of sad, but that's just the way it is. And, I don't know. Shadow's definitely been battling extremely well. He does typical Shadow things, like I talked about earlier with his yin and yang strategy. Like, I have no idea where he comes up with this crap, but it's fantastic to see, and it is so much fun to watch. Like, I love watching Shadow's channel, because, like, it's like I'm watching like a Pokemon lecture almost. Like, oh, that Pokemon gets this, and you can do that with it? That's insane. Like, I wish that Shadow would branch out and do, like, VGC. Like, if Shadow did VGC, he would introduce new things to the entire thing, like, to the entire VGC environment. But it's just great to watch Shadow. Like, I don't know. I'm done talking about him. We'll move on. At number 1 overall, we're going to have Cincinnati Sylveons, whose record is 7-1 with a differential of plus 26. Sophie has just been battling phenomenally. In round 4, she had phenomenally. Yeah, there we go. My bad. In round 4, she had a 3-0 win against Bryle. Round 5, she had a 2-0 win against Ab. Round 6, she had a 4-0 win against Eric, and then round 8, she had a 5-0 win against Rourke. So altogether, Sophie's been battling extremely well. As you can see, like, the 2-0 win against Ab, that really just cements her place at the top for me. Because Ab beat Verd, Sophie beat Ab. Verd doesn't have any criteria over Sophie. So that's kind of my thought process when I was putting these teams in the ranking. But Sophie has been battling extremely well. She has a fantastic team. She has experience in draft-based leagues. She clearly can win. She can win big, as you can see with her match against Rourke. That's why she has a differential that's through the roof. But Sophie's definitely, in my opinion, right now, the best team in the league. Altogether, between being battler, between her battle skill, her team, and just her ability to prep for the game, I think that she's the best person in the league at this moment. But that being said, she could easily be overthrown. This league there are so many teams that are just neck and neck, and any given week, any team can lose. That's kind of was proven today, or yesterday, I'd say, with Ab beating Verd. So it's pretty insane. That, and also another thing about any team can lose on any given day, is that Shadow just almost lost to Bryle, who at this moment is 3-5. So, like, it's anybody's league, it's anybody's game, every single game. So that's why I love the LBA, that's why I love being a part of it, and that's why I can't wait to keep it going. But we can move on to the full standings now. The full standings, as you can see, the top 16 teams are on the left, and then 17 we have the Portland Timbers, 18 DC Eevees, 19 Bolton Blastoises, 20th New Jersey Magnums, 21st Baltimore Bisharps, 22nd Chattanooga Chestnuts, 23rd Cucamonga Quakes, 24th Fuchsia Village Volcarona, 25th Carolina Nidokings, 26th Quebec City Beartiques, 27th Edinburgh Knights, 28th Atlanta Sox, 29th New York Gingars, 30th Florida Pyros, and 31st Toronto Cheetahs. And the team that's going to be not ranked this week is going to be the Seattle Sandshrews, because they were just taken over by the next Mandela, or Nelson. And he just took over the team for Bogut. Bogut just wasn't having fun with Pokemon, and he dropped. And, like, I have no issues with that. If you're not having fun, don't force yourself to do it. That being said, like, you shouldn't only have fun from winning. Like, that shouldn't be your only way to have fun. You should be able to look at your battle, be like, this was a good battle. I had fun doing this. But that's just my opinion. Like, I mean, I can't force anybody to have fun playing Pokemon. And if you're not having fun, then you shouldn't play. That's just as simple as it is. Pokemon is a game for fun. That's why you play video games. You play video games to have fun. You don't... That's... I don't know. That's another tangent. But, yep, so that's the full standings, and that's all the power rankings, and that's everything that I have for you guys this time. So thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you guys next time.